Hello there, welcome to Target Radio Podcasts. Yes, we have a podcast for your ears. Every week here on the show, on our live shows that is, we try and get an interesting persons, artists, band members, music, poets, film playwrights. We even get, we'll try and get everyone. We'll try and get everyone that's interested in our genre of music that we portray here on Target Radio. So what we do is sit them down, we have a telephone interview, sometimes a live interview, and we discuss all things in their profession. So stay tuned here. This one is an absolute blast. You're going to love this, and I'll be back at the end to obviously, tell you what's coming up in the very near future. So I am the Podfather. I will now tell you that this is Target Radio Podcasts. Don't forget to check us out on iTunes, and if you think we deserve it, don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating. That would be rather nice. Thank you very much indeed. So over to me, Cookie, and obviously to Andy Top Walker as well. And sit tight, and enjoy. This is Target Radio.
Dear God in heaven, please let this show go okay, with no major boobs or goofs, or is it goofs? Please don't let me tread all over the intros of records, or say a naughty word.
I listen to Sean Cook.
Oh, Sean Cook.
We'd like to say that, in our opinion, it is not suitable for children or for those of you who may have a nervous disposition.
Oh, Sean Cook.
Thank you very much. It just is Sean Cook at the moment, just. Very good evening. We just got there by the skin of our teeth. I don't know what went on there. I pressed the wrong button. It all went... Anyway. 2nd of June, 2020. We got the Lord. Yes, Mr. or Dr. Robby Allen. Come on. I'm looking forward to that. Yes. He's going to get plenty of those tonight, I can tell you. Anyway, what a glorious day today. So if you are fortunate enough to have a job and you've been back to work, or indeed you're still furloughed but you have a garden, I think today is the last day before it gets a bit pants out there. I'll do a quick weather report later if you like. What am I like? Quick weather report on Target Radio. Come on! We're all about the unsigned band here. And some brilliant blooming music. And talking of music, we got the theme on this evening. We got Dr. Bird, something from the Gents, a little bit from the Star Council as well. Plus a great interview. I can see it now. I can hear it. It's going to be marvellous because we're not sure who's interviewing who. It's going to be one of those nights. I just know it. Live now from 7 right away through till 9 o'clock this evening. God help your ear holes. Okay, if you want to get hold of us on the show this evening, why not? Target Radio live page for presenters. Allegedly, that's me. And listeners, that's you. Yes, you over there. And, of course... like I said, we got Dr. Robby Allen on this evening with us. We'll find out more about him and what he's up to and what he's doing and how's lockdown affecting him. But before we do all of that, let's play a few great songs. And kick-starting us off then, we've got The Who. And if you are fortunate enough, as I said, to go out today in your 5s and 6s with your 2 metres distance, hopefully you've been out on the street. See what I've done there? My apologies. Vinyl Soul, not Vinyl Sound. Off their album Shocker Week 135. Yes, of course, that was The Kite Collectors. It's a great start. I'm going to try and ring him right now. Here we go. Oh, he's very loud. Let's hopefully we've got... the Lord, Robby Allen. I'm saying Lord now because he's not answered. Oh, hang on, yes, he has. Do we have Robby Allen on there? Is he there? No, not video.
Yeah, I'm here.
Not video chat, for goodness sake. Right, there we go. Hang on! Do you know, people come on here just for that. Do you know that? That's it. So, thank you very much, Robbie, and it was lovely chatting with you. No, I'm only kidding. How are you, Robbie? You all right?
I'm not too bad. I've got two things going at the same time here.
I don't really want to know about your two things. Oh, my goodness me. Now, before we carry on, I do this with all my guests to make sure...
Quite a delay.
Yes, there is. I think you might have your radio on in the background there. So if you switch that off, because unfortunately then you'll hear me again. And you don't want to hear me twice,
Right.
for goodness sake.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you perfectly. You're absolutely
Fantastic.
crystal clear. Now, just before we carry on, Robby Allen, is this the Robby Allen that's got a DR in front of his name, as in doctor?
It is absolutely, yeah.
That's good.
but I'm not a medical doctor, and some
Oh.
people might think that is. It's not that. I became an academic.
Right,
I need
gotcha.
to make this distinction because
Yes.
when we bought our house last year,
Yeah.
there was a guy doing some plastering, and he'd noticed a letter that I had on the fridge. And he said, "So you're a doctor then?" And I said, "Yeah, that's right." And then he took his arm out. He said, "It's only I've got this thing on my shoulder." Then I put it back. I can probably write about it, but no.
No, indeed,
Yeah.
yeah. You could probably write a song about it, actually.
Absolutely.
The
Yeah,
plasterer's
social
arm.
psychology, me, not medical stuff.
Excellent. I think we've got the right Robby Allen there. That is
Good,
brilliant.
yeah.
Because, you know, I was looking for you on LinkedIn because obviously being a professional yourself, I thought you're bound to be on there, and I found you. I started following you, and then I realised it was the wrong Robby Allen.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Basically, the long and short of the story is make sure you're speaking to the right person right away. Now, I've been looking through your timeline over the last couple of days, Robbie, and it makes some really interesting reading there. Now, you're involved with some bikes, I believe. Is that right? Sort of muddy cross bikes and stuff like that. Was that from last year?
Bikes?
Bike.
No, not me.
No. Apparently, you was on a support bike last year with Anne Allen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, what happens is my wife, Anne, she goes running.
Yes.
And I go out on a bicycle as support bike, not a motorbike or anything like that. I have
No.
got scooters. But, yeah, so I go out as sort of support. And funny enough, we do get quite a lot of comments where people sort of say, oh, it's all right for him, he's on the bike. And she just turns to them and says, he's my doctor. So, yeah.
You're not going to live this doctor thing down now.
No, it's okay.
Was it more of a hindrance than a help now, having a doctor bit?
Well, we're told not to put it on things, like if we go to a hotel, because there's a chance of you knocked up in the middle of the night, as it were, and someone's saying, little Johnny's falling down the stairs, and I can't do anything about that. Go away.
Yeah, exactly. You can write about it, but you probably can do. You can probably do a health and safety report, but you can't.
Yeah,
really help
I can
him.
talk about the psychology of it, but I can't do anything about it.
Oh my goodness me! So if anyone's at one of your gigs, because we're going to talk about all of that anyway, and collapses with sheer shock of seeing you on the stage, is there a doctor in the house? Well, yes, but he just can't help you. I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
That's it. Right. Okay. So you go out sometimes on the bike because your good lady wife does a little bit of running. Is she still running around?
Yeah, to be honest, we've both been doing this charity thing, cycling for Forces Combat Stress.
Fantastic.
So, because I'm working from home, as a lot of people are who can.
Yes.
We've been doing this crazy thing, it's just pretty much me, I suppose, that in the morning, I've been going out for a cycle ride, so
Yeah.
it feels like I'm going to work. And then at the end of the day, I go cycling again, the opposite way round. So, because I can't play football or anything like that anymore, because I'm a bit old and knackered. So
Aren't we all? Aren't we all?
this is my way of doing it, but it does. I know it's a bit crazy. It is a bit crazy, and I'm in a cabin in my garden. I'm quite lucky. I've got this as my kind of home office and part studio.
Yeah.
And what I've done is I've dragged an exercise bike in.
Oh,
And-
right. Yeah.
Yeah, a few weeks ago, I was on one of these conference call type things, and I'd muted the sound, I'd muted the video, but I thought, this is going to be 3 hours long. I don't know if I can handle this.
No.
So I got on the exercise bike and I was listening, and then I suddenly thought, oh, I meant to say something now. But I pressed the video button rather than the mic button, so
Oh,
everyone
no.
saw just my head and shoulders going backwards and forward.
Don't tell me he was in your pyjamas. Please don't tell me.
No, hang on, what's Robby doing? I'm on an exercise bike. You know, what more can you...
Absolutely.
And they just carried it on. They just carried on.
Oh, my goodness
it's
me.
a normal thing to have.
Well, I think it is. It's the new normal, as they say now. I mean, you're doing these sort of video conference calls. I mean, yeah, you know, a year ago, if we knew this was going to hit, do you know, I would have saved like all my pennies and bought into Zoom video conference calling because it was pretty much unheard of a year ago. But now look at it. My goodness me. So how is lockdown overall treating you? Is it a lot different or a little bit different, or it's sort of really not different at all?
I was on furlough for 3 weeks, which wasn't terribly good fun, to be honest.
No, of course.
And I know people are in a lot worse position than I am because I talked to them, lots of chums out there.
Yeah.
I did get quite bored, but you know, I've got the ability to sort of, you know, use this little studio to do stuff, and I did some writing, you know, sort of sciencey types writing. But other than that, I find not doing things quite frustrating. So yeah,
Indeed, yeah. And now,
but I'm not on furlough now. I'm back at it, but pretty much just working from home all the time.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So just walking down the bottom of the garden really now, rather than walking to wherever you're walking to, you know, or riding to, or etc. So it's quick to get to work. Put it that way.
yeah. No, it's good to be surrounded by guitars and music and
that's
radio
it.
and whatnot.
So let's go with your music then. So we've got a little bit of a sort of like, you know, what you're doing now. So how did you get involved with music then? I mean, was it always there for you, or did you sort of come across it by chance?
Well, my dad was a real kind of moddy boy in the 60s. He was an original mod, and he was really into the blues and the rhythm and blues type stuff.
Okay.
And there used to be a DJ, well, he was actually a singer, songwriter, musician called Alexis Corner. My dad was in the Royal Navy, so when my dad came back on leave, we used to both, you know, even though I was quite young, we would both listen to this show and listen to Alexis Corner and listen to all this like rhythm and blues stuff. Yes. So I think really that's my first introduction to the kind of moddy type stuff. The first band I really liked, I suppose, was probably Slade, you know, like a lot of people. But I really got into that. Then, yeah, I mean, I really wanted to be in the Beatles, to be honest. So I had a tennis racket that I used to mime to in front of the mirror. You know, I don't know which one I was. I always quite liked George because he was quite quiet, and I thought that's quite nice. You can be quiet and be a millionaire. That sounds like a dandy kind of thing, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Just going back to your tennis racket days. I mean, I'm still learning the tennis racket, for goodness' sake. Come on. I just can't string it up properly, but there you go.
I'm still learning the guitar.
I think though, with music, any musician that is truthful and faithful to their instrument, I think you're always learning it.
Yeah, you are. I mean, I every now and then, you know, I kind of think, right, I'm going to learn a new chord.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that I remember them because I've not got terribly good memory, but it's good. You know, you learn a new chord and you can write a whole new song around that because it inspires you. It's a bit like, you know, if you buy a new guitar. I'm not saying, if my wife's listening, I'm not, you know, saying I want another guitar.
No, he's going to sell it. He's selling the others.
You know, you can never have enough. You know, don't get me wrong, but you know, it's that kind of thing. You know, you got something new and you can play around with it. You know, I bought a new electronic drum kit last year.
Oh,
not
fantastic!
The expensive one, but you know, to just sort of do demos. And it's just one of those things. You know, oh yeah, that's a good beat, and then you get off that and you go on the piano or you know whatever, keyboard rather. So yeah, I always feel like I've been around music. It was my aunt that really introduced me to the heavier side of the kind of mod type thing, which was she played in the city to me when I was really, really young. Yeah. Because she was a punk. Because when they first came out, Jan, they were very much they were sort of adopted by the punks.
They were sort of very smart-looking punk group, you know, obviously in their black sort of Burton suits and stuff. So, back in sort of 76, 77 when they broke through, they were sort of like, you know, I think they were sort of like not headlining, they were like supporting punk groups and really heavy outfits at the time.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that I really took to it, but funny enough, the album that came after that, it seems that is not so popular, which is Modern World. That's when I really kind of switched on to them. I think it's because it was a bit more mellow, and then obviously by the time all ModCons came along, you know, I'd already discovered the Small Faces, and bang, you know, it all came together again. Small Faces from my dad.
Yeah.
But the big change, I suppose, for me was there was a band called The Prisoners. Do you remember The Prisoners?
Yeah.
All that Medway kind of scene. It was Steve Dufford, who I used to be in the Mild Mannered Jancis with, and we sat down in his house, and he said, listen to this, and he put one side of, I think it was The Last of the Forefathers or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was A Taste of Pink. He put that on. He said, "Well, what year do you think that was?" And I kind of guessed around 64, 65, something like that. And he said, "Oh no, it was just a couple of years back." And that was it. After that, it was. So all of these things come together. It's quite easy to work out where I come from musically, I think.
Yeah, indeed. So you mentioned right at the top of the show, obviously, was talking about push bikes or bicycles or, those things that you get slightly tired on and very muddy. You've also got a couple of scooters as well. So, go on, what scooters do you have?
Okay, so I've just got two now, in all honesty. I've got a modern one, which is good for sort of zipping around.
Yep.
And I've got a PX, Vespa PX, which is, for those who've seen it, it's just sort of covered in mirrors and lights and all of that kind of stuff. I'm very wary of the fact that, that's probably not such a fashionable thing now, and you get accused of being plastic and all that. I don't care.
Do you know something? I really, I despise people that are jealous, because I think it's jealousy, personally. I'd love to have a scooter, but I would not. I did have one, actually. I got rid of it. My wife said, I didn't use it enough. Well, you don't use it in the cold weather. You get blooming cold on it. For goodness, they don't realise.
I am a fair weather scooter.
Yes, they don't realise. So I got rid of it because I was getting freezing cold, and she was making me go out on it in all weathers. And I said, it's two wheels. It's icy. I'm going to fall off and break me neck. Didn't care. Anyway, so obviously, under pressure, I got rid of it. It was the worst thing I ever done. I hated myself, or I still do. I need to get a new one, for goodness sake. So, now, obviously, Vespa or Lambretta I was going to get to. Which one is for you, if you were to choose, if money was no object?
Well, I've always had Vespas. I did have a Lambretta when I was at sixth form college, and it hardly ever started. One of the things I did used to like to try and do was to sneak out of the college, and you couldn't do that with a scooter that kept on backfiring. They definitely knew you were going,
You got caught, basically, from the scooter,
My music class, they really didn't want to teach me anything I wanted to know in that class. So she'd stick me in a room, and I'd say, I need to go home and write a song. Or sometimes I would just leave, and you'd be out there, and it would go bang, bang. It's just no secret. You can't sneak out of your house to go to a party, can you?
No, not at all. Not if it's going to backfire, for goodness sake. I've
always had Vespas. Not to say they don't break down, because mine does occasionally, but yeah, it's the look as well, But I do like them both. But I just always stuck with Vespas. I suppose it's like supporting a football team, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Change. Yeah. It is difficult to change. Once you're sort of used to one certain brand, you still sort of stay with it. Really, I do like a Vespa. I like a Lambretta. To choose between the two, I probably would go with what yourself with a Vespa. It's slightly more reliable, and I think you get a little bit more out of it as well. I think personally, but look-wise, I mean, you obviously can make your Vespa look as good as you want it. Really, all your mirrors and everything else on there, chrome this and chrome that. So, I totally agree. I think reliability over style. I think just about wins it these days. So brilliant, lovely. So, have you been out on it recently in this fine weather we're having?
I was out on it on the weekend. I said to Anne, my wife, I'm going out for a pose. So she said, because that's what it is. I'm riding along, I live in Wiltshire. There are quite a lot of scooter clubs around, but there's not too many scooters that are covered in lights and mirrors. And people look, and to be honest, I don't mind that. I quite like that. So that's what I say. I'm going out for a pose.
Why not? I mean,
she came out as well on her motorbike. So yeah.
An original mod in Brighton once said to me, "Do you know why our scooters are so slow?" I thought it was some sort of trick question here, so I went along with it. Will you stop doing that, please? Everyone's texting me on the same line. Stop texting me on Facebook Messenger, please. Thank you very much. Where was I? Yeah, so the original mod come up to me and goes, "Do you know why our scooters are so slow?" And I went, "No," he says, "so everyone can see us." Yeah. You can't grumble at that, 35 miles an hour, wallop, everyone's going to watch you.
Yeah, I remember going to Brighton back in the sort of 80s on a PK50, and a chum of mine, he had his covered in lights and mirrors. We were going up a hill, he literally got off and just pushed it up.
Yeah, it's a lot less hassle, isn't it? Because, yeah, you're top heavy, you're never going to get up there, are you, really, to be fair? No. And Brighton is quite hilly, to be honest with you. I go up there quite often, and even in a car, I struggle sometimes, especially with all the equipment I have to carry around with me when I'm doing like live shows and stuff like that. So, yeah, totally agree. Now, going on with live shows, neatly segued in there. Now, obviously, you were out touring. Was it last year with the Kite Collectors? Was it last year or the year before?
No, I pulled it 2 years ago.
2 years ago,
I mean,
right.
Yeah, I mean, some people know I was going through quite a sort of bad time with my head, you know. We'd been working quite hard and we'd recorded quite a lot. We did Clockface, and then straight after that we did Shockerwick 135. It cost a lot of money to do Shockerwick. We weren't making it back. Just, you know, I just got in a bad place, really. So I just said to the lads, you know, I can't do this anymore. So we just stopped very, very suddenly. We stopped, and everyone was saying, you know, is the band broken up? I said, well, no, because what I'm going to do is I should go what I call the Sergeant Pepper model, in that I won't play live anymore. I'll just, you know, I'll do studio stuff you know, with whoever wants me, or on my own, or with the band. And there's a guy called Andy Norrie-Werolf, who I think you know from the past tense.
Yes.
I think it was last year. He asked if I'd come along and do an acoustic set. So then I asked Pete, the drummer, and then I asked Dave, the guitarist. So we turned out with our acoustics. But Andy was great. He was like, you know, this is a non-threatening environment. You'll love it. And to be honest, I did. I really enjoyed being back on the stage. You know. So we said, right, okay, it's almost like Blues Brothers. Let's put the band back together.
Oh, fantastic reference. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so we were starting to rehearse again. You know, we got a new bassist came along, a guy called Murph. And then, of course, the COVID
was
thing
he in the
came
Blues?
along.
Was he in the Blues Brothers as well, Murph?
I used to be in a band with him years ago, and he's back now, and he's like, "Oh, you're still here? Yeah, being in my band for it."
I think he was actually. Oh my God! I'll go and look at that now. I love the Blues Brothers. I ain't seen it for so long. I've got to go and watch that now. Oh, fantastic! So basically, then you got everything sorted out, and crash bang wallop. What hits us?
Yeah, I mean, we were just all really geared up for promoting the new album, Never Look Down, you know, which you're quite sort of chuffed about.
Yes.
Again, quite a lot of work had gone into that with Pete and I the previous, 9-10 months.
Yeah.
So we were really up for it. I mean, I think we recorded something like 24, 25 songs.
Wow.
And then I think there's 14 on the album, so there's a whole bunch of stuff left over. So, you know, we could give away whatever in the future. But yeah, we were all geared up for promoting it. And yeah, I mean, it's a big problem, isn't it? Because, you know, all these venues now are going to be struggling, and all we can do is to say to people, you know, when you can, let's just get back out there and really enjoy ourselves. You know,
I totally agree with you. I mean, there's a lot of things going on Facebook, sort of 7, 8 o'clock at night, every night now, you know, of obviously live shows and things like that. And then Facebook is sort of pulling it away, saying, you can't play this stuff because of copyright infringement laws and this, that and the other, which really sort of, oh, come on, Facebook, just lighten up a little bit and just let people, you know, have a bit of fun with this and have, you know, just a little bit of artistic license and, you know, just entertain people whilst they're stuck at home, you know, and Facebook are quite diligent with this, you know, no, can't do this, can't do that. Right, so anyway, going with the notion that, are the pubs going to survive this, do you think?
I really, really hope so. There's so many venues that are closed anyway, you know, when we were out playing. I mean, you know, if you think back, you know, like when I was kind of, I don't know, I suppose from 17 to about 21, where I thought I was going to be an international pop star and all that kind of stuff, you could be playing all the time. In the Mild Mannered Janitors, the manager used to give us a sheet every month, and we were playing like 3 or 4 times a week, and, you know, as well as having a day job. Yeah. You know, because there was enough interest to do it during the week as well, not just Friday and Saturday. So he would just give us this list, and there were so many venues, and it's a real struggle now. And you kind of got a feel for the younger bands who are really trying to break through. You know, it's going to be even more difficult for them. So what can we do? well, we can support them. We can buy CDs. We can buy T-shirts, because that can often bail a band out. That kind of stuff.
Well, absolutely,
because,
yeah.
You know, they're playing a lot of the time for hardly any money if they're trying to get up and running. People putting on the gigs, you know, they're making an outlay. DJs are making an outlay. What can we do? We need to support it, and that's the best thing to do.
I totally agree with you. I mean, obviously, you know, I joke when I say, you know, the band sort of drive up and down the M1 or wherever they're going, you know, in some sort of transit van or something with their drum kits sliding around in the back. I mean, that's not far away from the actual honest truth. And they pretty much do it for a couple of beers and petrol money. That's all they do it for, because I think they're under this, they were under this illusion back in the 80s and 90s that, you know, you get a few gigs, you're going to make it big, like he's just said, you know. It doesn't happen. You know, literally 1% of the whole of the nation actually, you know, will make it, probably even less than that. So, you know, and I know that musicians that go out there week after week for pretty much pocket money, you know, let's put it down to literally a few bob between them, are doing it because they love what they do. So
yeah, I mean, we didn't
you
make any money from the Mild Mannered Janitors, and we were doing really good gigs. I mean, it was in Spiral Carpet, Stone Roses, you know, all of that kind of time, and we were playing with them, but we didn't really care, to be honest.
No.
We were playing with Steve Marriott, which is obviously was my music hero, and I really didn't care. I had a day job, you know, I worked in the garage then, and that was fine. That was how I earned my money, but this was how I had my fun. And it was exactly as you say, in the back of a van, just travelling around. Brilliant.
And the poor drummer's holding the drum kit all together, like, you know, for quickness, so we can set up quicker. But it's sliding around in the back. I've seen it so many times, you have to giggle because it's actually reality. And, you know, in all fairness, my hat is tipped to any musician that, you know, drives 30, 40, 50 miles and some more to go to a gig. Sometimes they travel from one end of the country to the other. I know that for March of the Mods and things, where obviously they may get some expenses. They probably don't. They do it because they enjoy what they do. And, you know, that really, for me, you know, that deserves one of these. Hang on 1 second. Are you going to play? Yes, you are. You know, that for me, hopefully, once the lockdown is lifted. I mean, it is lifting. I don't know if it's too soon. Time will tell, I suppose. But I've heard that, you know, some of the venues may start opening up sort of sometime in end of June, July time. I'm hoping it will, but the social distancing, I have now reliably been told by a politician, you know what they are like, that the lockdown is going to probably be here till about September time, but social distancing, we're probably looking at another year before they start thinking about reducing it or getting rid of it.
But that's why it's even more important when you are out and you can do these things to really enjoy it. I mean, we've got this song Glory Days, and that's basically about, it doesn't matter what age you are, because some days, you know, sometimes the kind of mundane kind of days, they're just everyday days. When you look back at them, you know, they can be your glory days, because you have times like this, which, you know, can be really, really pants. Those times when you'll go into a club and you're seeing whether it's a local band or a major bands that you're a big fan of, you've really got to appreciate that, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Right, just take a quick break there. I'm just going to say hi, good evening to a few people names that you may have heard of before. Okay, so we've got, just to name a few, we've got Darren Bennett, Des Gardner's joined us this evening, good evening. Ian Brown, who else is there? Andy Hart, Johnny Bance, Robert Clinton has joined us as well, and he's waving to us. Hello! Michael Moon, yes, I like your name, Michael Moon. Tony Botta has joined us. Hope you're well there, Tony. I know he got coronavirus when he fell off, funny enough, not funny I suppose, he fell off a roof, broke his hip, ended up in hospital and got coronavirus, and he's back home now, all safe and sound and coronavirus free, so fantastic. Anthony Osborne has joined us. Hello there. He just sent me a text as well saying he's got some new material. Thank you very much, Anthony. I'll have a look at that later. David Sinclair. Who else? Oh, we got Brian Mitchell. There he goes. And Laurent Toupé. Bonjour. Paul Mod Pretense is there. Bev Curley, Arthur Hancock, hello. Goodness me, there's loads of them. Vinnie Taylor, Kevin Tate, and Bruce Kettle. There we go, just to name a few there of people that are watching us this evening on Facebook Live. You're welcome. Okay, talking with us this evening, we've got the Lord Robby Allen. I've no idea why I call you the Lord Robby Allen, but the name is sort of stuck now. Everyone's starting to say the Lord Robby Allen or the Lord Robby.
It goes back a bit.
Oh my goodness me, that might have been my
I
other
used to have
radio
a
taste.
horse that I parked outside the house on the green,
Nothing surprises me, Robbie.
and I used to ride around the garrison in Germany. I wasn't in the divorces, but I used to ride around the garrison on a horse. So that's, yeah, it kind of started there, really.
Oh my goodness me. So, just I forgot what I was going to say.
Because,
now.
if you've got a horse, you must be posh. That kind of thing.
Yes, absolutely. Oh, well, I was thinking more Lord and Saviour, actually, because obviously of the music scene. Because, but no, you've put a vision in my head now. I'm never going to get rid of that now.
Yeah, I did a Queen's wave as I went past the house. I did the married quarters.
I just don't want to see you in jodhpurs, Robbie, to be honest with you. Mind you, it could be a great look on the stage when we get back out there and start producing and performing music again.
Yeah, okay, you go first.
Well, I don't
know if I could carry it off anymore.
I don't think I could get in them anymore, but there you go. So, moving forward then, and obviously I was doing some messaging beforehand, and you have been doing sort of some writing and recording songs for a young lady by the name of Katie Hallam, I believe.
Yeah, so we did an album. Paisley Records, which is my little micro label. We did an album with her. I think it was about 4 years ago.
Yeah,
she's just got the most wonderful voice. She really, really has. Actually, it's a bit longer ago than that. And yeah, so what I've been doing is I've been writing some songs for her.
Okay.
A guy called Dave Pinchin is a fellow lad from Portsmouth. He's a brilliant orchestrator, so he's been orchestrating them. Katie came up just before Christmas and recorded a bunch. We carried on writing. Obviously, we can't get her back into the studio at the moment, but we carried on writing, waiting for her to come back. But they really are something special. They really are. She's just got the most wonderful voice.
Well, I know you sent me that the double-sided track, the Started to Feel Good, and obviously the instrumental on the B side, which obviously is brilliant. I love that tune, and I noticed that she's got an album out now, and also she was supposed to be in Brighton over the Mod Weekend, I think. Anyway, this year in Brighton as well. So I was looking forward to possibly trying to see her, but again, it's all up in the air now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, she's got a very similar voice to your listeners will know Faye Hallam. Used to be in Making Time. She's got a very similar voice, and it's just beautiful. I mean, the first time we recorded, like I said, whatever it was, 5 years ago, we were in the studio, and it wasn't long after my dad had died, and I'd written this song called Young But Wise. I'd written it on a piano, but I started to play it on guitar, and we would kind of, like quite often happens, it was at the end of the day, you're paying 240 quid a day for the studio, and quickly, do you think we could do this? And I swear to you, she did it in one take. She just played the guitar, microphone above, just one microphone, and bless her, she's just so lovely. She said to me afterwards, "Are you okay?" As I turned around, because I don't mind saying it, I found it really kind of emotional, and I had tears streaming down my face. It's just the most beautiful sound. Yeah, her voice. And yeah, she's just wonderful, and to be in a studio and watch her work on a song. So obviously she's got my guide track from the song, and then it just shows what a great singer can do, and a female singer as well, just take it to a different level.
Indeed, there's not enough females out there singing. Come on.
No, there's not of Katie's quality. So. When it's going to be released, I'm not really sure, because obviously we've had this stop now for this. I'm guessing probably about another 6 months, because these things take time to ramp up. But yeah, that's something to look out for. Also did a song a couple of days back with Sam Burnett. He's doing Back to Zero, so that's just going to be a one-off, which is probably going to be like a freebie. It's just sort of, reflections on the past. It's called Random Thoughts.
Yes, and
that's sounding really nice.
Excellent. Now, obviously, just going back to, obviously, with the Kite Collectors, and when you stop with, obviously, mental health, I was just going to touch on that very quickly. Obviously, I'm not going to dive into, obviously, your head and everything like that. What would you say if anyone's starting to feel, what can I say, starting to feel differently? What would your recommendations be? Because obviously, yourself being, gone through it and possibly gone through the other side of it now, Robbie, what would you say to, not just musicians, but anyone out there that's listening now with mental health? Because obviously it's very, very much now headlining news, it's in all the media, and obviously the Royals have jumped all over it as well. So, what would your best advice be?
I think you've got to own it. That's the main thing. What I have is occasionally I get quite bad sort of anxiety attacks, and so I've got this ongoing sort of anxiety thing, and it comes as a bit of a shock to you, especially if you're in a job like I am, where I'm in front of a lot of people.
Yes.
for a big part of my life, or my hobby, which is to be in front of a lot of people. You know,
or on a horse.
Many years ago. So it's a very kind of personal thing. But if you can own it and talk to people, I think that is really the secret of it. It doesn't mean to say you have to come on Facebook and make all these declarations, because, you know, see medics, just talk to people. I think that's what really, really helped. And I was able to say to the lads, you know, that this is what's going on. And I described, you know, we just did this great gig, and I spent the journey back in the footwell, you know, shaking and don't know what the hell's going on.
Wow.
So, you know, I'm feeling like I'm a lot happier with it, and I've had some great support.
No, that's good, yeah.
That's really good.
So obviously seek support what from your friends, family, and obviously then you can possibly
whoever.
get them.
Whoever. I mean, it can often be friends, even sometimes people you don't talk to a lot, because, you know, you don't mind sharing detail where you might not want to share it with family. You know, it's just one of those things, isn't it? You know, but the key thing is to acknowledge it and to own it. And not everybody can move on. I realise that. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a medic. But that's the way I did it. That's the way I did it.
And it could work for you as well. So obviously, if you're out there listening now, and you know, you or someone that you know has got mental health problems, and they say statistically 1 in 3 of us will suffer from it, and 1 in 2 of us will know someone that is suffering from it. So, you know, keep an eye out for your besties, your best friends out there, and obviously your friends and family. Keep them close, and just make sure they're all okay. You know, talk to them. Obviously, we can't go around and knock on their doors at the moment, but, you know, pick the phone up, FaceTime them. You know, we've got so many different sort of like media things out there now that we can use to keep in contact and chat. For goodness sake, I mean, Facebook is not all about posting who's got the biggest record collection, for goodness sake. You know, talk to each other on there, for heaven's sake. That's what I think we need to do, is talk and make sure that everyone is well. And if they're not, give them some support. That's what I think as well. So, yeah, no, that's good. I just wanted to touch on that because it is quite a very serious subject. But I think, you know,
we had a song on the last album which I think I called The Ballad of Mental Health Issues.
Yes, you
and
have,
what was really, really fantastic is that, you know, I got messages coming through Facebook which were really, really supportive, or were saying, you know, I've had this kind of thing, and that's obviously that's what's happening to me within that song. But that again, you know, that's just great. I found that fantastic that people could give me that kind of feedback, you know, and you do want people to enjoy your music. I don't want everyone to sit there thinking, God, you know, this is a bit of a depressing song.
Give me another beer.
It's a full kind of orchestrated kind of thing, but, you know, words are important. We know that from the best songwriters, and I don't put myself in that category, but the best songwriters will find a form of words that will touch someone, and every now and then you hit the jackpot, and you know, sometimes I've been lucky enough to do that. So.
Indeed. I'm just going to touch on your songwriting skills as well, because obviously some of your songs are absolutely fantastic. I won't name them all now, but you know, they're good. You know, and obviously it takes another person to tell you that. Obviously you're not going to go around saying, they're really good songs, they're the best I've ever written. I believe that, you know, you work on, you know, how it's sort of, how can we say, the listener comes back to you and obviously says, Robbie, I really love that tune, it's really good, mate. So the question I'm going to ask you is, out of all the songs that you've written, what one is your favourite?
I think Man in the Paisley Shirt always gets a good response. It was done very, very quickly. A lot of my songs I enjoy are done quite quickly, and then you get withdrawal symptoms. But the song that I think I found the strangest, and I really do like, is a song called Tell Me It's Real. The reason why is because it was a tape recorder. I turned the tape recorder on and I just played for 3 minutes, and then I listened back to the song and wrote down the lyrics, and that was the song. I didn't build up to it. I just turned it on and I just played the song, and I've probably only done that 2 or 3 times, but that was the first time that I'd ever actually managed to do that.
That's
and
fantastic.
Again, it's just a song and it changed very, very little. I think I changed a couple of the words because, you know, I kind of blurred them, you know, put things together like 2 words, but the melody, the vast majority of the words, the whole of the chords, you know, it was just a complete song, a 3-minute song.
Wow.
No idea where that came from. And it was one of those songs that people quite liked, you know.
Do you know, I asked
Which is
this,
good.
yeah, indeed. I ask this question of all musicians, especially ones that obviously do the songwriting, because obviously if you don't do the songwriting, then it's a bit of a pants question. But what sort of mood do you think you need to be in, you personally, Robbie, to write the best material? Now, is it happy? Is it sad? Is it angry? Is it sort of lethargic? What suits you best when you're writing, or does it really matter?
Yeah, mood does matter a lot. It can dictate the kind of song that you write. You know, if you're feeling a bit down, you're going to write that kind of song. In Glory Days, I was driving back from work, and I thought I need a song to say thank you to the people, you know, because we go, you know, that would come in to see us, and I wanted like a call and response type song.
Yeah.
So I picked up my phone. I was in a traffic jam, by the way, so I wasn't driving.
No.
And I just sang the chorus into the phone, and I was in a good mood because I was on my way home.
Of
so
course,
it's a very
yeah.
kind of positive kind of song. But it doesn't really matter. I can be in a happy mood and then write a sad song, or in a sad mood and write a happy song. It does affect me at the time. And again, you know, I don't mind saying, you know, I've written something sometimes and I've been a bit sort of tearful afterwards because it's been a bit of a kind of emotional ride, you know.
Indeed. Oh, that's good. That's good then. So, you know, a lot of people say, you know, pen and paper is the go-to. Is it yourself, or is it a mobile phone now, or what do you use?
I have just down by my foot. You can't see, but I've got
There it is.
box files for songs that I've written over the years, which are pen and paper. But now, because I tend to be in a little home studio, I've got microphone, everything around me, and computer, so I tend to write lyrics on the computer,
Yeah,
you know,
indeed.
on Word. But to be honest, most of the time it is still the same principle, is that I will turn a microphone on,
Yeah.
because I've got an idea, and I will just sing into it. So I might do a couple of versions, and then I go back and listen, and I go, oh, okay, I'll take that bit. But sometimes, you know, you've written a song you know, like 10 years ago, and you're struggling to find a bridge or a chorus, and then you go, oh, yeah, it was that thing 10 years ago. You know, so you delve into your box files, or you listen to tapes, or, you know, whatever, and you go, oh, there it is. And sometimes it doesn't fit, you know, or you put it in and someone will say to you, that sounds like two completely different songs. And then you've got to come clean and say, well, actually, it was, and 10 years between them. But I'm always writing.
That is a bloody long bridge, though, isn't it? You know, 10 years between the first chorus and the second, or something, you know, or verse.
But I mean, I must write, I don't know, 30, 40 songs a year.
Wow.
Now. It used to be a lot more, but yeah, because I don't have so much time. But
No,
it depends
indeed.
on if I'm sat over by the keyboard. I might start. I'm not very good on the piano, but I might start playing something there, and then I flit around, you know, guitars or whatever, or bass.
I mean, can you play the ukulele? That's what another question I'm going to ask you.
I do have one, funny enough, just behind me that my oldest son bought me, but yeah, it's not the same chords as guitar, so I struggled a little bit. I'm a slow learner.
Because people, apparently the go-to instrument while everyone's on lockdown is the ukulele. My daughter's got one, but I haven't got a clue, to be honest with you. I have no idea. So, oh, hello, the wife has just appeared in the Target Radio cabin. What do you want?
We're back and we're just going to walk Marley.
Okay, thank you. How unprofessional am I? You know, she's telling me what she's doing. I don't... Just go and walk the dog, for goodness sake. So, yeah, apparently the go-to instrument is the ukulele. That's why I asked you. Unbelievable.
No, I mean, I've got 4 guitars just behind me, so to go a little bit further to get a ukulele, I'd need to get it out in case. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I must learn it, though, you know, because my son bought it for me.
Well, yeah, it'd be rude not to. Now, quickly then, we're going to go just sort of a couple of sort of easy, or maybe not so easy questions. I can't remember who actually said this. Might have been a lady called Sarah. She asked me if you could have wrote any song in the history of songs that's obviously been written, which one would it have been? And now I'm going to have a stab in the dark here. Something from the Beatles, I would have thought, but I might be wrong.
Oh, no, that was jolly good, yeah. I Am a Walrus. It's absolutely, it changed so much. But my favourite Beatles song is a song called She Said, She Said.
Yeah.
And,
nice song.
Well, you know, if I'd written it, then not many people have heard it, so I'm glad that they did. But yeah, I absolutely love that. But there's a Prisoners song called Reaching My Head, which I absolutely love, and we used to do in the Janitors, and we did do a couple of times for Kite Collectors. But yeah, I mean, I try to listen to as much music as I can.
Indeed.
But yeah, that I'm walrus, I guess.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a great song. For me, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't know if it's supposed to.
It doesn't make any sense.
No.
But it doesn't need to. It's basically he heard a police siren or something, and then wrote a song around it. I mean, it's just genius. Absolute genius.
Yeah, it might have something to do with some headache tablets or something in there as well.
Yeah,
Not
could have been
sure.
worse. Could have been an ice cream van, and he would have been really screwed then.
Oh yeah, absolutely, or a screwball. There we go. And obviously a 99 with a flake and a Mr. Whippy. Oh my goodness me, we're going down a lane there. Just trying to find the other questions as well. Got a couple there. Desert Island. Oh, I love these ones. Someone's put on there. If you was marooned on a desert island, but you were only allowed one influential person in the whole wide world, who would it be?
Oh, I don't know, but could you imagine just having you have some hero of yours and you're stuck on an island with them? You end up hating each other. The most influential musician on my life was there's been two. It's John Mayall, who's a blues singer,
yes,
or Steve Marriott. Now, Steve Marriott had a strange personality.
To say the least.
A lot of people know that he told me to F off out of the dressing room when we played for him back in the 80s. But he was my absolute musical hero. So I think even the fact that he told me to F off out of the dressing room because I was annoying him too much, I think I would still be on that desert island. But you can imagine listening to him every day playing blues songs or whatever. Yeah, wonderful.
He was quite a character. I mean, I went to watch the stage musical All or Nothing, with the one that was made by Carol Harrison.
Yeah,
and I got a chance of meeting with Carol Harrison as well after the show, and she's such a down-to-earth lady. I love her to bits.
Very talented, yeah, very talented.
Very talented, and of course she was Tiffany's mum, I think, in EastEnders as well.
Yeah, that's right.
So very, very talented. But when I actually asked her about the All or Nothing, and I said, is this based on all facts? She goes, oh yeah, absolutely. Most of this, if not all of this, actually happened in front of me. And I went, oh really? She goes, oh yeah, I grew up with Stevie and all of them guys. She goes, I knew them so well. They just lived a couple of roads away from me, so I knew them that well. And I was really surprised by that because there was so much about the Small Faces I really did not know about. So when you talk about Steve Marriott and him telling you to F off out of the studio, did you sort of say, well, how would you like me to F off?
No, I just
you just slipped out.
He was just such a legend for me. One of the best moments of my life is I was sat on his rehearsals.
Yeah.
And his rehearsal, he literally just touched the end of the jack plug. The amp went, and he said, yeah, that'll do. And then he went and stood at an organ, like keyboard.
Yeah.
And he was just playing like organ riffs. And I was sat on the edge of the stage waiting to sound check. I've got Steve Marriott behind me playing blues riffs on an organ.
Wow.
Can it get any better than that? In a dingy club in Portsmouth.
There's not a lot of people that can actually say that they've been told to F off by Steve Marriott. Really, let's be honest with you. I mean, you'll probably put that on a plaque and put it on your man cave.
Yeah.
I was told to F off.
It was just because people kept on coming up to me and saying, "Can you get his autograph on this? Can you get his autograph on that?" And I kept on going back in and saying, "Oh, Steve, can you sign this?" And I think in the end it was just all too much.
I've been honest with you. I mean, not that I've ever been fortunate enough to be famous. I don't ever want to be honest with you. That's why I chose radio. But now you do Facebook Live with radio. What's that all about? Come on.
Yeah, this strange world.
Yeah, I know. I've got a face for radio. That's why I chose this profession. But there we go. Right. Now, I was going to ask you a question. Now, obviously, I love the Kite Collectors. Got the T-shirt and everything. Literally, I have got the T-shirt, which is fantastic. Good fit as well. All 100% cotton, ladies and gentlemen. Go and buy one.
Absolutely.
Right. Of all the tracks there, I do love it. I love Paint by Numbers. That's one of my favourite ones that I do like. And It Reflects Me as well. I like that one. Those two, I wouldn't say my favourites, but the two I really go to, I do enjoy playing those. So I'm actually going to play those in a minute anyway, so I just thought I'd let you know. But the Kite Collectors, it's an unusual name. How did that come about?
Okay, so the idea was that I would almost be like a John Mayall figure, like John Mayall and the Blues Breakers. We had Eric Clapton and blah, 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 people coming and going. That I would be at the centre of this thing, and I would have people around me that I would bring into this band called the Kite Collectors. So they were almost like my kites that I could outfly, all very kind of arty-farty kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was the original idea. So it started off with myself and Steve Duffield, because he wasn't in the Beta band and all of that then. So that's how we kind of started off. And then I got Pete Summerfield, who people who know drumming know Pete's a fantastic drummer.
Yeah.
I'd asked him to be in bands with me before, but he wasn't interested. But when he knew that I was going to be releasing an album, he seems to suddenly change his mind because we had someone interested in releasing it.
Yeah.
Which I remind him of every now and then. So it became Pete and I, and then that's pretty much what it's been. We've brought people in. Dave Rowe on lead guitar. He, as work allows, he comes and goes. We've gone through bass players like you wouldn't know, but it's just, but it's probably just because I'm such an awkward, won't say the word, but probably because I am. The relationship with the guitarist, singer-songwriter, and the bass player is really, really important. And I've been lucky; we've had some fantastic bassists, but I think I annoy them too much. They don't hang around, or I don't hang around them. But we got saying all that. If Matt Murphy's listening to this, he's probably thinking, "How long am I going to last then?" Because he's a fantastic guy, and I've known him for quite a while. So this was the idea, and we have had guest singers like Sam and Anne Marie from Speed of Sound and John Armstrong from Speed of Sound, Wayne who does the Ice Cream Man show. So I've pulled people in just as and when I think I need them.
Yes.
Dave Pinchin, so it's that in a sense has pretty much stayed the same. But really, the core of it throughout the I can't remember how many years it is now, 5, 6, whatever it is, 6 years. It's pretty much been Pete and I, and we've pulled people to it. But that's where the name came from, really, to try and be John Mayall.
Well, why not? If someone has to be, if he can't, then you can. That's great. Because obviously on one of your releases here, I've actually got Robby Allen and the Kite Collectors, which obviously then answers that question, really, then. Yeah,
that was because back in the kind of earlier days of it, I think that was the first 2 releases, the feeling, because that wasn't my label then, the feeling was that, probably wrongly, that my name would might be remembered from the Mild Mannered Janitors, so it was pretty much that. I felt a bit uncomfortable with it, and so as soon as we took control over it, through the label, we just changed it to the Kite Collectors, because it's better to feel that you're in a band than, I am the front man, I am the guy that writes the songs, but it's also the stuff that Pete does when I give him a demo, on the drums.
Yes.
Like I said about Katie, you get a good drummer. He listens to what I've done, and he kind of go, okay, and then he'll do it 100 million times better.
Perfect.
So, everybody adds something to it, so it should be a band.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously a band, obviously you have your own ideas, and then the band will sort of, add to that and put layers in and things like that. So obviously it builds and builds and builds until obviously your ears are saying, that's enough. I really like that. That's great. And you leave it there. As a musician, though, just a couple of questions for myself now. As a musician, are you ever happy with the final outcome? Or is it always something that you could have done a little bit more, but no, I think I'll leave it there? Or, are you always 100% happy?
No, never.
No.
Because if you're in studio, using your studio time, you're up against the clock.
Yes, of course you are.
Particularly when it's your label like it is with me. I'm looking at it thinking if this goes into tomorrow, that's going to cost another, whatever it is, half a day, which is 120, 140, 150, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But the finished product, one of the problems with me is that the writing of it is a real joy. The recording of it's okay. The listening to it for the first couple of times afterwards is okay. But then I want to move on. I sort of lose interest.
Yes.
I want to do the new thing, whatever the new thing is. But when I listen back to them, I always think, well, I could have changed that. I could have done that. I could have been Paul McCartney better. I could have been John Lennon better, or John Mayer, or I could have been Steve Marriott. And I'm none of those people. When I listen to it, and it's, I know people like this stuff. Don't get me wrong. I do know that they like it.
Absolutely, yeah.
But am I satisfied? Never.
No,
never really.
No. I'm pretty much like yourself. Obviously, when I'm doing audio and things like that. I mean, obviously, I'm not a musician, but I have an ear, and I think to myself, "Oh, why did I say that? Or why did I put that word with this word?" And I think, well, and I won't even say the word. I nearly did then. I nearly said a naughty word. My goodness me, what am I like? And I think to myself, "Shut up, Cookie. Let them speak." And I think that a lot. So obviously, I'm very critical of my own work when I do my stuff as well here at Target Radio. So a little bit of promotion now. So
I'm saying that when
you have to be, I think.
Sam Burnett produced Clock Face, when Sam had finished Clock Face, for the amount of effort and emotions that we both went through
Yeah.
to get that album finished, I think that's probably as close as I've been to saying, right, because that was the best we could do.
Of course.
With the time that we had and the equipment that we had. And Sam did such a great job.
Yeah.
That, I kind of went, that's brilliant. In all honesty, I think the last album was really well produced as well. It was really well done.
Yes.
But yeah, to answer your question, I probably would go back and re-record bits and pieces in that.
I think we're all a bit like that. All right, final question from me then, which is sort of a couple of A, B's and C's there, really. Johnny Bradley just says, hi guys, sorry I'm late. That was about 34 minutes ago, so sorry I'm late for mentioning it. Touche. All right, so we're going to be talking about that a bit later, but off air that is, about with Johnny Bradley. Brilliant guy, by the way. Absolutely fantastic.
He's a top lad, isn't he?
Yeah, when I interviewed him.
And he's trying to do some great things.
Yes, he is.
He really is.
Yes, he is. Absolutely. So, yeah.
Him and Rick and Tom, a whole bunch of people really trying to keep the scene going, keep music going.
Absolutely. So, which brings me neatly to my last question, really, is lockdown is done, lockdown is finished, no more coronavirus. They've proven it, it's there, it's gone, it's gone, it never will be back. Okay, so we're all throwing our hats up in the air, cheering. What's the first thing you're going to do?
The first thing I'm going to do, I suppose...
I hope it's got nothing to do with a horse.
Family, hug some family.
Yeah, of course.
I'm a hugger anyway. I mean, people do know that about me, so they'll be like, keep your distance, Robbie. Anne and I were both real huggers, like, even if I've only seen you 10 minutes ago, it might be, oh yeah. So, I mean, I've missed that. So, yeah, that'd be good. But
nothing wrong
to
with
go
that.
and see family and give them a hug.
Nothing wrong with a Robbie hug.
That's right.
There we go, the Lord Robbie hug. Right, okie dokie. And music wise, what's the first thing you're going to do? Are you going to book tickets to go and see a band, or are you going to go out there and make the band and get out there yourself on stage?
Right, well, yeah, the Kite Collectors need to get back out there.
I totally agree.
In good old way, we need to shift units, as labels say. So that's one thing. So, but we want to get out there and start gigging again. But it'd be nice to go and see some gigs. I know for my wife's birthday, we had tickets to go and see the Levelers. She really likes them, so that's obviously been pushed back. But yeah, and I as well want to get out and see some bands.
Yeah,
so there's some things that we want to do with other bands.
Absolutely,
we're planning to do.
Well, we'll keep that for another. We'll keep that for another day, because obviously, apparently Johnny Bradley wants tickets. He said, "Get in line, I'm first." Right, I fight for him. That is brilliant. Now, have I missed anything out on this occasion?
I don't think so.
We've covered a lot of ground, honestly. It's been brilliant. But I'm going to play one of Katie's songs, which is starting to feel good. Love that track. And I'm going to play a couple of Kite Collectors as well, because I'm biased. I do like your band. It's a great band. It's great. It's not just mod. It's mod and more. I love it. It's some really good stuff in there. And like I said, I do like paint by numbers, and it reflects me. We've got about 30 minutes left of the show, so I'm going to finish off now. But how do we get hold of you for future reference? Please, and obviously if they want to get hold of you for the studios, or indeed for any sort of musical influence or help, how do we get hold of you, Robbie?
I just come on Facebook is probably the easiest way. I mean, if people want to buy stuff, then buying CDs direct from the label is better than going through anyone else, because we don't have to pay a percentage.
Gotcha.
People can download stuff, but yeah, just message me on Facebook. It's fine.
Brilliant, lovely. There you go. And you'll reply to everyone. You won't tell anyone to F off, will you?
No, I'm definitely not in Steve Marriott's league. Although I do know all of the major swear words, so yeah, I do use them.
Well, you're a musician, you're allowed to.
Yeah.
Just don't put them in your music, for goodness sake, because my finger's hurting with the bleep button, for goodness. Yes, I know where the bleep button is. Oh, you've been a star this afternoon, this evening, I should say. Look at the time. My goodness me, time flies when you're having fun. Now, we're going to do an alternative interview a bit later. Are we going to do this tomorrow?
We can do it tomorrow if you want, but I was going to do it tonight. But we can do it tomorrow.
Let's do it tomorrow.
This is an interview with you for Mods of Your Generation article.
There we go.
So, yeah, I'm glad you didn't ask me too hard questions, because otherwise I could have given you a hard time tomorrow.
I would have said no comment. Politicians answer. Okay, for now then, Robby Allen, thank you very much. The Lord Robby Allen on his horse. He's going off now into the distance. And as we do that, we're going to bring the crew back in there. They're all social distancing around about 2 metres, which is 6 foot or 3 steps or 2 trolleys. Whatever you want to measure 2 metres with. No, not that, please. Put it away. Right, here they are. Oh, thank you very much indeed. And we're going to play this one now, and then we'll play a couple of Kite Collectors as well. Robby Allen, thank you, my friend. I'll see you soon.
Cheers, bye.
And we'll have a man hug, okay?
Yes, of course.
Take care. Cheers now. Thank you.
Bye.
Robby Allen there. Oh, wasn't he a star? Absolutely brilliant. Love the man. He's absolutely fantastic. Hang on a minute. Them two are not social distancing. Get out. That's it. Go. The fantastic Kite Collectors there. Live here on Target Radio. We've just been talking to Robby Allen, and what a really lovely gentleman. And all I now have got visions of him in jodhpurs and on a horse, for goodness sake. Oh my goodness, I'll never get that out of my head now. Not until I go to bed later. Right, now, I haven't played no jam yet. Well, that's easily rectified. Okay, if you've missed any of the show this evening, don't forget we'll have it up on Mixcloud by the end of the week for a Listen Again feature. I'd just like to say one more time to the Lord Robby Allen in jodhpurs on the on the bike, jodhpurs on the bike, jodhpurs on the horse even. I just can't get it out of my head now. I'd just like to say thank you very much indeed for popping on this evening and having a chat about everything and anything and putting the world to rights. And we're back, yes. And what did you think of that for an interview? Wasn't it great? We found out so much. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for joining us for the Target Radio podcast. I am your pod father. That is me, Cookie. Don't forget to rate us on iTunes if you can, please. If you think we deserve it, 5 stars, please. It does help with the future of Target Radio. Don't forget you can join me every single Monday from 7 through till 8, and then I'm back again on Tuesday 7 through till 9, and then Fridays as well, live here in the studios between 7 and 8. Check out all of our great shows here on Target Radio, and as I say, please, please, please support local artists and the Unsigned Band. Until next time, thank you very much indeed. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.